Hello and welcome to Hexed Encountered on the Legend Sport channel. I'm Joe. Today we are continuing our playthrough of the 1973 Yom Kippur War campaign in Down in Flames Locked On from Dan Verssen Games. In the first episode of this series, I played Scenario 1 or Mission 1, depending on how you want to call it, which was, it's titled SA7 Site. There are actually a couple of those with the same title, and we're going to be playing the second one of them today. But Scenario 1 or Mission 1 ended in an Israeli victory. They garnered 46 victory points, and the Egyptians did receive none. Today we will be playing number 3. The reason I'm skipping number 2 is I actually did play number 2, but it ended up being a draw. I ran out of time. The mission took over an hour, and I didn't feel like it was actually worthy of posting as a video. So that one was Israelis low on fuel. It featured 2 Nesher-S aircraft for the Israelis and 2 MiG-21 fish beds for the Egyptians. And each side ended up shooting down one plane. So 1 Nesher and 1 fish bed were shot down, and ultimately it ended up being 39 points for Israel and 41 points for Egypt, making the current total 85 for Israel and 41 for Egypt going into mission number 3. So speaking of mission number 3, this is again an SA7 site. So the Egyptians do have a surface-to-air missile site for our Israeli aircraft to deal with. And just like in mission number 1, this is a 1-on-2 with an SA7 site. The one this time being an F4E Phantom II. So the venerable double ugly, or the Rhino, or the big iron sled, or whatever you might want to call it, the Phantom II. It's a heavy fighter. It carries 8 air-to-air missiles, carries 4 AIM-9E Sidewinder missiles, and 4 AIM-7E2 Sparrow missiles. The Sparrows are radar homing, and the Sidewinders are heat-seeking. It is taking on 2 Egyptian MiG-19S Farmer aircraft. These, like the MiG-17, debuted in the early 1950s, 1952 to be specific. They are gun-only aircraft. They will be at a disadvantage in this mission. Their performance is a 5. The performance of the F4 is a 6. So the F4's hand will have 1 extra card in it. The F4 will also get a speed maneuver each round. It will go first because it has a 1 for EW over the EW of 0 for the MiG-19. And it also has a gun rating of 1, while the MiG-19 has a gun rating of 0. So the gun rating of 1 means that you would add a card to a gun attack should the F4 Phantom need to use its gun with 8 missiles. The biggest problem for the Phantom this game will probably be keeping away from that SA7 site. So the SA7 site may fire on the Phantom when it is at radar homing, heat-seeking, or gun range, and at an altitude of medium or low. All right, so let's get this started. The Phantom draws 6 cards, so 3, 4, 5, 6. Each MiG gets 5 cards. Okay. For skills in this mission, the Israelis get, they had a choice between Test Pilot and Edge. Oh no, Quick Hands, I'm sorry. I chose Test Pilot. The counter actually says hand size may exceed performance. That's actually no longer true. What Test Pilot now is during both of your aircraft's discard draw steps, you draw cards equal to your current thrust afterburner rating, and then discard unwanted cards back down to your performance rating. Okay, so let's roll for the starting altitude for our MiGs. So aircraft number 2, this guy right here, he rolled a 2. That is low, so he starts low. And aircraft 3 rolls a 3. He also starts low, so he's already at low. Okay, everybody's at active homing range, which means they are not in range of any missiles. Okay, so The Phantom goes first. It has a speed advantage of 2-1, so it gets a free speed maneuver. And we will choose to do we'll choose to use that to move to radar homing. And we will operate this turn against aircraft number 2. Since we're starting at radar homing, I will look at my hand here, and what will our Phantom do here? So both of the bogies are at low altitude, and if I go low, I will be vulnerable to the SAM site, the SA-7 site. So I am going to do what? I'm going to play break. I'm going to play break, and I'm going to play it for range and try to get to gun range. Okay. So I will now roll for aircraft 2. So 2 plus his 5 cards, that's a 7. You need a 9. Solitaire needs a 9 to counter, so no counter. So that means I am now at gun range. I'll use guns. I'll play guns. And this is again for positioning, and I'm going to try to pull my MiG-19 to radar homing. And that's a 4. So 4 plus 6 is 4 plus 5 rather is 9. So he can counter. He rolled a 3. A 3 against maneuvering is a break. So he's playing a break. So I'm countering his break with a yo-yo. So now he's going to try to counter my yo-yo. He does have the opportunity. A 7 against a yo-yo is a scissors. So he's playing a scissors. And against his scissors, I will counter with a scissors of my own. We now roll a 10 for him, and then we roll a 1. And a 1 against scissors is a scissors. So he's also playing a scissors. Okay. And I think that is all I'm going to do. I will hold on to my last 2 cards here. So I will draw 2, giving me 4. It is now the MiG-19's turn. They have a thrust rating of 3, so they actually get 3 cards, which brings him back up to his maximum of 5. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, he doesn't need to use his afterburner, so we'll skip that. We'll check altitude. He rolled a 2. He's already low, so he cannot dive. Cannot dive. So we will now roll for his action. He rolls a 3 plus 5 is 8, which gives him adjust range or improve position by 1 or adjust altitude by 1. Okay, so we're going to adjust his range. He's going to try to go to radar homing. I am not going to counter that. Okay, so now we will roll again. Oh, he had to play a card for that as well. So he's got 4 cards left. He rolled a 9 plus 4 is 13. That is adjust range or improve position, or range or position by 2, or adjust your altitude by 1. So again, he's going to try to close range to gun, because he's got his only weapons are guns. So again, I am not going to counter that. And now he rolls an 8, and he had to use a card, so he's down to 3 cards. That's 11. And so now he's adjusting range or improving position by 1, or adjusting his altitude by 1. He is actually going to climb to medium. Again, I am not going to counter. He's got 2 cards left, so the rule is if they can get to within their firing envelope with the number of cards left, then they can. Otherwise, they end their turn. He can, in theory, because we're neutral, you can fire your guns while you're neutral. So he still can. He's only got to improve his altitude again by 1 to go to high to match me. So he rolled a 4 though with 2 cards left. That's only a 6, and you can't. You need an 8 to actually perform an action. So he's going to draw 3 cards to get back to 5 and end his turn. Okay. So now we are going to aircraft number 3. He will check for his altitude. Rolled a 3. He's already low, cannot go lower. Rolled a 5 plus his 5 for his action cards. Gives him 10. So he, with a 10, he's adjusting his position by 1. So he'll move up. Actually, we'll just take the altitude. So we'll play the card for altitude again. I'm not going to counter it. 4 plus 4 now is 8. So again, he can improve by 1. He's going to go up to high and discard a card. Again, I'm not going to try to counter. Roll one more time. So 5. He's got 3 cards left. That's an 8. So he can now try to move a range up by 1. Again, I will not counter. So he's down to 2 cards now. So he can try to get within gun range here, although he would not be able to shoot at me. So he rolls a 7. Plus 2 is 9. So he can move up another one. I'll let him do it. He's down to 1 card. He rolled a 2. Rolled a 2. Plus 1 is 3. Turns over. So he draws 3 cards. His turn is over. We are now into round number 2. Round 2. Okay, so my performance is 2. I can elect to put my afterburners on and draw 4. And since they don't have any heat-seeking missiles, and I am not at low altitude or medium altitude, as long as I don't change my altitude, I will be okay this turn. So I'm going to turn my afterburners on. And I'm going to draw 4 cards. And I'm going to look at them and see which 2 I want to discard. I will get rid of a yo-yo and a tone steady. Okay, so now I have my cards. I am not changing my altitude. I'm going to operate against aircraft 3 this turn because he is in range. He's high. He's in my heat-seeking range. I can fire a missile at him, or I can close and go after him with guns. But to get a heat seeker off, though, I would have to fire from. I would have to improve my positioning on him, which I can do as long as he doesn't counter it. The question is, what do I want to use to do that with? I'm going to use my yo-yo, and I'm going to try to pull him into gun range. So he will roll. He rolled a 2. He's got 4 cards, so he's now in gun range. So now that he's in gun range, I'm going to fire my guns at him. Let's be bold. Head-on gun pass. I do have to discard 3 cards, though. So I will discard these 3. My turn's over regardless. All right, so this is aircraft 3. He's got 4 cards. He rolled a 7. He also gets 2 for bonus for being on the verge of destruction. So that's basically a 13, so that's good for him. So he rolls a 9 against guns. 9 against guns is red line. I have ace pilot. I'm going to play that against his red line. So now he has to counter ace pilot. And he used a card. So he's down to 3. He rolls a 6 plus the 2 plus 3 is enough. So he's now going to roll again. He rolls a 2. The 2 against ace pilot is nothing. So he gets shot down. So he gets shot down. That's a gun kill. That's a gun kill. So he is gone. He's dead. Shot down. So now we are just contending with aircraft number 2. That is the end of my turn. I will draw 2 cards. Okay, it is now aircraft number 1's turn. I'm going to move this guy out of the way here. So now we are 1-on-1. He's got his 5 cards. Okay. First thing we're going to do is check for an altitude change. He rolls an 8. That's a climb. So when you climb, you discard a card. So he's going to lose a card, but he's going to go to high. So now he's in gun range of me, and he can take a shot. Okay, so He's in the gun envelope, so we're going to roll. He got a 3. So anything under 5 in a neutral is end play card step. So his turn is actually over. So he's going to draw 1 card. That burns my afterburner because that's the end of the turn. Okay. And so now I have 2 cards. Actually, I'm going to draw 4 because I'm going to turn my afterburner on again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cards. Okay. Now we're neutral. I actually have a guns card. I could try this again. I don't know if I would get as lucky, but my spread of cards is actually good, so I'm going to go for it. So another gun attack. Again, we're head on. We're going to roll the 2 for him. Plus 2 more is 4. Plus 5 is 9. So he can counter my guns. He rolls a 2. 2 against guns is a break. So he plays a break. I will counter his break with scissors. So he rolls an 8. Plus 4 plus 2 is 14. That's plenty. Now he rolled a 1. He used a card against scissors. A 1 is scissors. So he played scissors against my scissors. He is down to 3 cards. And I will now play a barrel roll. He rolled a 9, so that's good for him. Then he rolls a 3. So a 3 against a barrel roll is a barrel roll. So now I need to counter a barrel roll. And I cannot. Okay, so he successfully evades my guns. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a vertical roll. And I'm going to try to get on his tail. Yeah, play the vertical roll for 2 and try to get on his tail. So he's got 2. He needs to roll a 7. He rolls a 10 and an 8. An 8 against maneuvering is a barrel roll. Okay, so I believe, yep, I do not have a barrel roll. So that ends that. And I guess I will end my turn. Okay. I'm ending my turn. I'll take my 2 cards. And now he gets 2 cards, and so 3 cards. So he has 4 cards. He's going to roll for altitude. A 10 would be a climb, but he cannot because he's at high. He rolls a 9 plus 4 is 13. That's a 2. So he's going to maneuver. He's going to maneuver for positioning to improve his gun. His gun positioning, I guess. Actually, no. I guess since he's in the gun envelope, even though we're neutral, he's supposed to take a shot. So a 13 on the gun chart is guns discard 3, so he's going to give up 3 cards. And he has to play his last card as well, I guess. Because you play the gun card, and then the gun card says discard 3. So if I have a card that counters guns, which I do, I'm going to play break. Break counters his guns, so that ends his turn. He gets 3 cards. I get 2 cards. And I burned my last afterburner. So I have 4 cards, 5 cards. Okay, so I am still in gun. I'm going to play a split S and see if I can get my positioning in. He's only got 3. He needs to roll a 6. He rolls a 10. So now he needs to roll, he rolls a 5. A 5 against maneuvering is nothing. So I now have him tailed. So he's now tailed. So I will play my guns good angle. He had to use no, he didn't use a card. My gun's good angle. Since I am tailing, I don't have to discard any cards. So we roll for him. He rolls a 9, so he will counter. And then a 5 against guns is a barrel roll. So he plays a barrel roll. He plays a barrel roll. I cannot counter the barrel roll. So he successfully does that. And I will end my turn because I don't have anything else I can do. So I will draw 2 cards. That gets me to 5. He draws 3 cards. Start of his turn. Okay, now he's tailed. So 0, a 10. So he is going to, 10 plus 5 is 15. He is going to try to improve his position by 3. So if he does this, he will get me in a disadvantaged position. So I need to see if I have something that counters maneuvering, which I do. I'm going to play break. He rolled a 7. He has 4 cards left. So he has an 11 there. He rolls a 2 against break. 2 against break is break. So he's rolling, he's trying to break now. I will play barrel roll. He rolls a 6 plus 3 is 9. He rolls a 7. A 7 against a barrel roll is a yo-yo. So he's played a yo-yo. I do not have anything that counters a yo-yo. So he gets me in a disadvantaged position. So now he's going to go for a gunshot. He rolls a 9. Plus 2 is 11. So advantaged 11 is guns, discard 2. So he's discarding 2. But I guess he doesn't actually have enough cards to do this. So okay, so he's going to try to maneuver then instead. Back to heat seeking. And I don't have anything I can play against maneuver, so that actually will end his turn. He's going to draw 3 cards to get back to 5. I will draw 2 cards. I also have 5. New turn. I am disadvantaged now. I will play red line for positioning to try and put him in a disadvantaged position. He rolls a 9. He rolls a 5. A 5 against maneuvering is nothing, so that was successful. So now he is disadvantaged. So I'm playing guns, jinking against him. He has 5 cards. A 10 is plenty. A 9 against guns is red line. So he played red line. And I can't do anything against red line, so that's going to end my turn here. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. And what round are we in? I've lost track. I think we're in round 5 right now. Maybe. He gets 1 card. He gets 1 card. Okay, so we'll roll for altitude. 5. Actually, I should not have been able to shoot guns at him that last turn. I get it in my head that we're at gun range, and we're not. We were actually at heat-seeking range. Oh well. Moving on. It failed anyway. 5 plus 5 is 10. So he needs to get back to gun range, so he's going to play for position. So that's a maneuver. I do not have anything that goes against maneuvering, so that's successful. He plays a card. We roll again. An 8 plus 4 is 12. And again, this would be to adjust his position by 2, so he's going to try to get me advantaged. Again, I do not have anything against maneuvering, so he successfully gets me in an advantaged position. Well, he's advantaged on me. Now we're in a gun envelope, so he rolls a 6 and a 3 is a 9. 9 at advantaged is guns, discard 2. So he does have 3 cards, so he is going to be able to shoot. And I do have a card that I can play against guns, which would be my vertical roll. So I will play that. That will end his turn. He gets 3 cards. I get 2 cards. Okay, I am disadvantaged, so I need to play for positioning. I am going to play vertical roll for positioning. He rolls a 5 plus 3 is 8, so he cannot counter that. So he is now tailed. I'm going to play a tone steady, and I'm going to shoot a Sidewinder at him. I've not had any luck with my guns against this particular aircraft. So tone steady, I get +1 card for my missile, but he can try to break the tone. So he rolls a 5. +2 is no, +3 is, so I get tone. I have tone. Now he's rolling for the missile. So I'm firing an AIM 9E. Okay, so that gets 2 cards +1 for the tone steady. So 3 cards. Okay. So now he's going to roll for against the missile. So he got a 5. +2 is 7, +3 is 10, so that's good. He can roll against it. He rolls a 9. A 9 against a missile card is a red line. So he's playing a red line. And the missile cannot counter a red line. So he has successfully avoided that missile. Okay. So that didn't work. So now I'm going to try... I guess I'm going to try again with another missile because I don't have... I should have tried guns first, I guess. But, well, guns tailing, discard 1. Okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to fire my gun. So I'm tailing. I have to discard my last card. I am in a tailing position. He has 2 cards left, so he's rolling against guns. He got a 9, so he can counter. And he rolled a 9 again, and he's going to survive. He plays another red line. And we move on. So this is the last round. If he does not shoot me down, then the scenario ends. So he gets 3 cards. And I have no cards. None. Oh, wait, no, I get 2. That's right. 2 cards for the end of the turn. So he has 4 cards here. He's disadvantaged. He rolls a 10, +4 is 14. That lets him adjust by 2, so he can get back to neutral. Unless I counter this, which I will. So now he's going to try to counter break. So he rolls a 1 +4. He cannot counter break. So he's stuck. He's still tailed. We roll again. He rolls a 7 +4 is 11. Now he can try to improve his position by 1. I again am going to counter with a break. He rolls a 9. So he can counter. And a 4 against break doesn't even matter, but it's barrel roll. So he's playing barrel roll. Okay, so now he's at 2 cards. I'm at no cards. He is now disadvantaged. So he rolls again. He rolled a 4 +2 is 6, so his turn is over. He gets 3 cards. And that is the end of the game. And so I shot down 1, and the other one survived. So I get half the victory points for this mission. And for Israel, the victory points were 66, so I would get 33 points for destroying the 1 MiG-19. I also successfully kept the fight at high altitude, so I did not have to deal with his SA-7 sight, which was to my benefit. I really did not draw many good cards for myself in that particular scenario. So that will do it. I think if we had kept going a little longer, I would have eventually gotten him, but maybe not. I mean, he also had an opportunity to get after me, and he couldn't do it either. So that ends our game. I will pick this up with scenario 4, which looks like a fun one. That one is called Bounced by MiGs. Okay, so we're going to start kind of mid-fight in that one, and that one sounds pretty interesting. But for now, this will do it. I'm going to wrap it up. As always, thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video or my other videos, please consider liking it, or even better, subscribing and sharing, because, you know, it'll help me grow my channel. I'm enjoying doing this, and I would like to continue to do so. So please consider supporting my channel if you would. I appreciate it. Thank you again. And for Hexed Encountered on the Legend Sport channel, I'm Joe, and thanks for watching. Happy gaming.